Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así.
Thank you, God, for this day we have lived, everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us, allow us guidance to the path of righteousness. Amen.
Really, I'ma get that bitch. Revenge is a dish best served cold. She took my son, now my soul is cold. He took my daddy, now my soul is old.
Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub?
King Chaka ENT. Y'all can check out the music on Spotify, Apple, and other services. Doing what we do 3 to 4 nights a week. King Chaka ENT. From the
She
back
starts
seat.
shooting.
Ow!
That dude was like, ow.
What was that?
Outside the car,
That nigga
deputies'
got
body
popped.
cameras capturing the bullets flying through the air.
We got shots fired
couldn't
up
have been
here.
a straight
We
shot.
need
It had
backup
to be-
immediately. Start
Are you-
EMS. Start EMS.
What
We got
the
a
fuck?
civilian. We got a civilian hit.
The deputy.
Looks like we got us another hit.
This is copyright.gov, U.S. Copyright Office. More information on fair use. Fair use is a legal doctrine that promotes freedom of expression by permitting the unlicensed use of copyright-protected works in certain circumstances. Section 107 of the Copyright Act provides the statutory framework for determining whether something is a fair use and identifies certain types of uses such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research as examples of activities that may qualify as fair use. Section 107 calls for consideration of the following 4 factors in evaluating a question of fair use: purpose and character of the use, including whether the use of the commercial nature or is for nonprofit educational purposes, nature of the copyrighted work, amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Okay, so anything I use for you guys, hit me up if you want me to remove it, edit it, or whatever. Nothing is used to infringe on anybody's intellectual property. I don't intend on doing that, and I don't intend on profiting from anyone's intellectual property. So I'm glad to edit or delete anything that's any of my videos that I've used of anybody. So that's it. Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, an educated public cannot be controlled. Learn to be active. The views and events expressed here are totally whack and not necessarily the views of anyone. Name of the show today is Turn Your Brain Off. And the idea is, the media, everything, they want you to be sensationalized and they want you to not think, They don't want a nation of thinkers. Because if they did, then it would be a lot more difficult for them to pull off all this stuff they're pulling off, and they're pulling it off left and right. So when I just think about it a lot, how like people, it seems like because these people are educated, right? These people know a lot of stuff, but they turn their brain off when it gets like if it's a topic like the ones we were talking about yesterday, like transgender or CRT or whatever, something that's shoot, my brain is going break. Freaking abortion. it seems like people turn their brain off and they just get emotional and reactionary, you know. They don't think, right? It's knee jerk. It's knee jerk reactions is what happens, you know. And it's okay to have those fight or flight. Uh, that's from our evolution. You know, that's a part of us that keeps us alive. It's just that, if you look at a cat, you know how cats do. Cats are smart, but they tend to do really stupid things. Like they put themselves in positions that are dumb as hell, like really dumb, and then usually out of their reactions, like their knee-jerk reactions that they have, is what puts them in really messed up positions. So then we should learn from that, us being humans, sometimes the knee-jerk reaction, and you can't help it. And sometimes it's actually the right reaction, but sometimes it's absolutely the wrong, like it could cause your death. Your demise because of your knee jerk. So, but I think that's what they're doing to us. They feed us with all of this stuff. We turn our brain off. We knee jerk react to the detriment of us all. You wonder why people vote against their own interest. It's because they're having knee jerk reactions. You wonder why people, talk about these culture wars instead of the real issues. Is because they're having knee-jerk reactions. Anyways, I'm tired. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on today. I had a good monologue in my brain, but it done slipped out. What's up, Pat?
What's up? What's up?
How you feel, man?
Feeling pretty good, man. Just I wasn't sure if we were gonna go on tonight or not.
Me neither. I was sitting here like, man, I'm really tired. I almost didn't do it. I'm definitely not staying on long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. What about you, man? How you feel? What do you think about the topic, turn your brain off? What does that mean to you?
I mean, you asking people to do something really tough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's. I think for any of us, that's one of those things. Just to even recognize when we should or shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Because we're always being cluttered with some form of propaganda. Shall I to easily say it? But they're always trying to sell us on something. I mean, whether it's selling us on someone or selling us against someone, selling us pillows, selling us, they're always trying to sell us something. So I mean, at some point we got to realize, or we are all responsible for what we intake, what we consume. Our diet, shall I say, our spiritual diet, our mental diet, our physical, food diets. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we all must be very conscious of what we partake in day to day. So I think, even as tough as that job may be to keep up with, what's going on. Because I mean, how do you stay well informed and you're also shutting yourself off to, the information on what it is that they're trying to sell? So, like I said, it's a tough thing that that we're trying, that we're asking the people, or I mean, it can get deep, really, because I mean, I've already just now within that last few seconds, I thought of a couple of different angles that it could go, but I mean,
Yeah. So yeah, because like going with what you said, because somebody had a quote where they said, if you don't tune into the news, you're not informed, but if you do tune in, then you're misinformed.
yeah.
So.
Well, I remember that was Denzel Washington said it. Well, maybe somebody else, but I know I heard him say it the first
Yeah, I
time.
think it was Denzel. Yeah. So, but I mean, that's true. And but at the same time, I don't think he was saying don't plug in. He's saying be aware that it's, lies and propaganda and misinformation in there. And,
Oh yeah.
the only thing you can really do is dig through it. Like, it doesn't matter what channel you pick, because people want to say, oh, Fox News is the truth or CNN is a lie. And both of those are not true. There's lies and truth in both.
Exactly. They just have different angles. Like, I mean, they're their political positions. Because I mean, the thing about it is, because I mean, when we really look at programming, you know, on any level, when we're talking about programming, there is a certain job that they're trying to perform, and within that job, t- it's controls involved. So I mean, if they have already figured out, because of most of these people are, like I said, they're very intelligent, they're smart. A lot of them, if you take in some form of journalism, there's some psychology involved. If you do some marketing, there's psychology involved. Like when you talking about media from any level, we're talking about people who understands other people's thinking, and they know that there's triggers. They know that if they're trying to set, because I mean, there's a certain group of people who tend to be attracted to the Foxes of the world, and then there's people who tend to be what I'm saying, they just the others that's repulsed by it, by Fox, so they find a different station. They, whether it's CNN, MSN, whoever the choice is, like the programming attracts a certain type of people, and they know how to gear um their motives or their propaganda toward those groups of people. So, that's the part that we have to keep in mind, because, no matter how smart we are, at some point we do get enveloped into that programming.
And yeah, so it sounds like the Kool-Aid. So they say don't drink the Kool-Aid. I think everybody then drunk the Kool-Aid,
Everybody.
especially if they've picked a side. Like if they're demonizing one side and glorifying another. They've drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Of course, like I'm checking myself from time to time on these different issues, and I do find myself where I tend to lean hard to one side than the other, because I mean, if I'm surprised when one side has actually a fairness to them, because I'm used to another side being the one that seems to be more fair. Because I mean, I'm not fooled by like me personally, I'm not really fooled by the politics, because I see what's going on. But in this world that we're in, if we just in this government, because I mean, I can't say what it is, how it feels to be in any other one, but there is, in my opinion, someone who like they make us choose the lesser of two evils every time,
Yeah.
on every subject, because
Why
based
we
on,
have to choose between the lesser of two evils, though? That's the thing.
see it, we and that's like one of the that's been one of my biggest questions for the longest. And it's like, it's said, of course it's set up that way, because I mean, of course it would be a harder job. Maybe maybe it's easier, but I mean, I think that if we had to choose the best of the best, you know, would it be what I'm saying? If we actually had people who were doing the job and actually trying to, like, really trying to represent the people and their needs and their wants, would like, how would we handle that?
Yeah. Would we even support them? Like, would we even recognize it for that? Would we think that they're just just like the rest of them?
Yeah,
How would we
I mean, it's
distinguish?
It's crazy, man.
They
I
all
mean, it's
sound good when they talk, you know. Speaking of, because this is one thing I do want to talk about. This post right here, it says, "You've got to be kidding me." According to the White House itself, there are exactly 0 people who will be released from prison because of this. How many times is this administration going to blatantly bait and switch it based on campaign promises? So what they're talking about is the federal release. Let me read this one. It says there are currently no individuals in federal prison solely for simple possession of marijuana, and most marijuana possession convictions occur at the state level. The official said federal law currently classifies marijuana as Schedule 1 drug, the same classification as heroin. So 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 Biden said, okay, here's the clip. It says, this is Biden. He said, as I've said before, no one should be in jail for using possession of marijuana. Today I'm taking steps to end our failed approach. Allow me to lay them out. So yeah, we talked about that, but freaking what it's looking like is that, he knew what he was saying wasn't gonna have, like, it having a political impact, but it's not having no impact at all, really. Because Jimmy Dore talked about it. Let me pull Jimmy Dore up. But they, uh, basically the way it's looking is that, yes, what he did is he pardoned all the people with solely federal simple possession charges, except there's no one in federal prison with solely simple possession charges.
I would hope not. I mean it would be insane if that was the case because that's a misdemeanor. They're talking about targeting people in or I say targeting, but looking to find people in federal prison who has misdemeanors. Because if you really look at it, I mean possession of marijuana is a misdemeanor crime.
So how would you end up in federal prison for that?
I
And
think
when
it
does the
depends on. I think it depends on the amount that you have, though. I think it depends
No,
on the amount
but
that
but
you
but,
have,
but
the intent to distribute or sell,
well,
how
the
many
intent to
charge would
different
be
distribute,
different.
counties or
The charge
yeah,
would be
jurisdictions.
different.
the charges are different. It's not simple possession. It's intent to sell, or it's what do they call it when you have a lot of it? I don't know. It's a different charge. It's not going to be the simple possession that Biden was saying. That's how they use them damn legalese words on everyone and
Well,
fuck everybody
it's
head up.
this, but it's the same way too. Just the way, just how he just played everybody with that, with what he said that he's going to do. It's the same way when it comes down to the law of the land when you get pulled over by police officers. It's the way in which you answer their question that allows them to uh, violate your rights. That's just like if an officer asks you, "Do you mind if I search your vehicle?" and you say, "Yes, I do. Yes, I mind if you search." Well, that gives them the right to actually search your vehicle. You're supposed to say, "No, I do not consent to any searches of my vehicle and or my person."
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's the way, and see, that's the thing. They know most people in society, most civilians do not know the terminology and the language that you should use when you're going against law enforcement, and all of these other things. So you get fucked. So it's like when you're watching a video of somebody who's saying, "No, I don't want this. No, what are you doing? No, I don't have to give you this." They're not using the right terminology, which gives the officer the right to actually violate their constitutional right because they're not using the correct verbiage or language that needs to be used. Even though the officer knows what you're saying, but still,
Well,
that's
it
where
can
the
be mis
officer
it
is
can be
still
mis
on the good side of the law where he's not going to be charged.
well it could be misconstrued based on how you respond because like if you're in a just like they are responsible for having an articulable um like reasonable suspicion or whatever, they must be able to articulate it properly. I mean, you have that same obligation. You have to, be clear about what you're saying to the cop. Like, no, I do not give you the right to search my car
Consent.
or my
Consent, not
yeah.
right. Consent. Which means the
I
same thing, but yeah, no.
yeah, I don't give you any consent to do anything. Like, you know, shit. As far as I'm concerned, you can get in your car and leave. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I mean, somebody might seem take that as being as disrespectful, but honestly, you do have the right to tell them just that. Now, will they do it? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that we all have to realize that we have to be clear about what we're stating to an officer when, if in a a traffic stop, or for whatever reason, that even if they pull up at your house, they're saying that they want to search and they got some kind of warrant. All right, what's the specifics of it? You got to be understand, like, you need to be in the moment and understand what's happening, and you respond properly. So
Yeah. That's just like everybody was mad because, and I know this is kind of off topic, but it all correlates to what Biden said and the way that he worded this shit. But that's just like there was an officer, a civilian and officer shootout. But the officer he wasn't fatally injured, but he was badly injured, and the guy won the lawsuit, and kept from a prison sentence. The officer came on his property because somebody called and said that they heard a loud noise, loud screaming on his property. Well, the cop came to the guy's property to do a wellness check or surveillance check. Well, the guy's gate was locked. The cop crawled under the guy's gate and was on his property, and the guy pulled up. Clearly, you can see it's a police officer car. The guy pulls up and he pulls his gun out, and starts shooting at the police officer. And it was just the way. And as he was shooting, you could hear what he's saying. He's basically well, the cop shot at him first, but he's stating the law and he's using the correct verbiage, which basically put the officer at fault for being on this
well,
guy's property. Which, like,
well,
we
see
have to pay attention to this type of shit, bro, and that's what they tricking us up at with this shit.
the whole thing is that most of us, think that because we see somebody in uniform with a cop car. I mean, out in Louisiana, I've seen, that there's been cases where there was people who were impersonating police officers. So,
Yeah,
you know, when that's a possibility, and you see somebody like that might be their whole stick. They dress up like cops and try to come and rob you. You know what I'm saying? So there's a, there's a fine line, and it's good for you to really understand how to interpret the law and also uh utilize it. So
Yeah, but that just shows how fucked up it is. I mean, I get it because they protect property, like I be saying all the time, and then it's like that your rights is related to the property. So the dude owned the property, and then the gate was locked. Those were the key components to it. And then the guy broke into his property basically by entering without being given permission. And so then that's where the cop was wrong. But then what's killer about that is that this is a situation where the cop was probably had good intentions. You know what I'm saying? If it's a wellness check and there's someone in there and you're trying to make sure that they're good, then they're not going to be able to open the gate to let you in or
yeah,
give you
but it's
permission to
good.
come in.
But here's the argument. You say the cop had good intentions. Just think about the innocent, whether black or white, that had good intentions and got fatally shot by an officer.
And that's what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying.
saying?
It's all
So it's
fucked
like,
up. It's all
yeah,
backwards and fucked up. That's not a justice system. That's an injustice system. That's a, you know, who knows how it's gonna play out system.
yeah. It's crazy, bro, and that's why I say, like, when they start, like, like I said, my comment last night when you asked me about it at the close of the show, and I said that's great if it works. That's great if that's what it's actually, because at the end of the day, man, they say these things all the time, and they know that most people don't hear the correct term. They're just hearing, oh, you're gonna be pardoned if you got marijuana charges. You know what I'm saying? They're not thinking about that shit. Like, and it's a way that they trick us.
But see,
And
but that's a part of my thing. That's a part of my argument. Is like, I mean, do you actually hear what these people are saying?
Yes.
Because
you literally have to listen to it, like the words.
Yeah,
and know what they mean.
Know what they mean, dissect it, study, like really have an understanding of what's going on, because like, it's, a lot of times you can see it's a scam right away, because like how do you end up with any one, like just one person in federal prison for a misdemeanor crime?
For a simple weed possession. So like when does the feds pull you over and take you to jail for simple marijuana? When does the cops turn you over to the feds when you have some simple marijuana?
Bro, your local police, like who are, I guess will be considered lower level, your city or parish county police officers. If they know that you just got, like, okay, they probably not even gonna waste their time for somebody who's carrying an ounce or, quarter pound or, little baggies of marijuana, because it's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So why would the feds take alarm to something on the same level?
And they're spending way more resources because it costs a lot more for feds to do whatever they do. So yeah, that's a complete waste of resources.
Yeah.
Let me play the Jimmy Dore breaking it down. And I gotta say that, as much as people don't like Biden, bro, if this is true, like, bro, they're gonna hate this guy a lot more.
Guess what? They've been asking Biden to legalize weed. That's a big joint out in front of the thing.
Huh.
And turns out Biden's going to pardon all federal offenses of simple marijuana possession in the first major step towards decriminalization. Well, how about that? Biden is finally kind of going to do something. It's not legalization of marijuana. That's the thing he promised, but it sounds kind of like that thing he promised, and that's what counts.
Yeah. What are you saying? It's not a. Wait, are you going to say it's not a?
So here it is. No, hang on. Biden on Thursday pardoned all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession, a move that senior administration officials said would affect thousands of Americans charged with that crime. The announcement comes on after a month ahead of the critical November elections. Hang on. So Biden on Thursday pardoned all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. So that's, but do they? Is that really what the feds do? Does the FBI pull you over and hey, I smell marijuana in your car? Is that what the
that
FBI?
Never happened to you? Well, you're privileged. I'm always getting pulled over by the FBI for my weed.
It's the worst. So they say this is to help the midterms, and this guy Fetterman, who's running in Pennsylvania. But get this, Midas Touch says, President Biden pardoning all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession may just be a single most transformative, morally right, politically smart use of the pardon power in history. It's impossible to overstate just how massive this news is. Well, spoiler alert, it's not happening. So, senior administration official, we know that over 6,500 U.S. citizens from 1992 to 2021 were convicted of simple possession of marijuana under federal law. And as we said, there are thousands of more who were convicted from under DC code. So there are no individuals currently in federal prison for simple possession of marijuana. And again, the president is calling on governors to take this. So according to this,
Oh, solely it says
solely.
So who? Somebody was just telling me never commit a misdemeanor while you're committing a crime. You know, like
Right.
So that means they grab people for other things.
Yeah.
And then throw a marijuana charge on it to get them extra. And now they're going to take those charges off. It says that's solely is the whole thing. Yeah.
Solely.
Because I was like, when would the feds care about simple marijuana? That's when they want to crack down on you. Maybe you had a little weed and then they could add that on.
So this person tweets out, Haley McMahon says, "You've got to be kidding me. According to the White House itself, there are exactly 0 people who will be released from prison because of this. How many times is this administration going to blatantly bait and switch? It's based on campaign." So really, is that real? Is that real?
The solely is the whole thing.
You think that's it, Kurt?
Because, okay, why would there even be a federal charge of simple marijuana?
Right.
That's only, I bet you anything, because that's all it is. You get caught on something else, and then that's the thing where, and he had simple marijuana possession. And then it's just to add extra,
Yeah. So is this?
So the people have been in prison for their other crime, but they can't, I guess, use that on them. It's real.
So here's another. Not a single person will be released from prison. This is just more political theater, and people are falling for it. So this person says, in terms of Biden pardoning people, please read between the lines. According to the White House, no one is currently in federal prison solely for simple possession of the drug. So this releases no one from prison. This, also, their convictions were not voided. They still stand. And the pardon does not cover convictions for possession of other drugs or for the charges relating to producing or possessing marijuana with an intent to distribute. Also, Biden is also not pardoning non-citizens who were in the United States without legal status at the time of their arrest. Boy, that's a lot of exceptions. And again, can you Google this? Google this more. Have you been Googling this?
Yeah, I get this. This is from New York Times. Says the pardons will not apply to people convicted of selling or distributing marijuana.
Yeah, okay.
And officials said there are no people now serving time in federal prison solely for marijuana possession.
Solely, yeah.
So it's all bullshit. Again, just like when Biden said he was going to relieve student debt. And then he didn't.
Then relieved himself into your mouth and you thanked him for it, morons.
Same thing here. Same thing here. It's all bullshit. And that's according to what paper are you reading?
This was New York Times.
New York Times even says that. There's no...
Man. He said Biden relieved himself in your mouth.
Yes, and he keeps doing... That's why I can, because I mean, like, for me to have to buckle down and say, all right, you know what, I would have to support Trump in the position, because I mean, Trump is still, like, especially if you look at, things that he's done for or has not done against the people, like, he still ranks higher. Like, I mean, if you did a side by side, if people really pull up the policies that the two stand for, whatever, like, it would be a no brainer. Like, if somebody, if everybody just took the time and just like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna vote for whoever did the most work for the people and for the country or whatever, blah blah blah, it would look, bro, y'all would be so totally surprised. I mean, you think Trump is an asshole. When you finish doing the tabulations, you'll see who's the bigger asshole. But I'm not saying he's not an asshole, because he is, but at the same time, like, I mean, we all need to be an asshole at some point in order to get work done, business done, or to, you know what I'm saying, like, at some point, even in your household, you got to be an asshole to get shit accomplished. So,
yep. I can't argue with that, and it's really mostly. I have to completely agree with everything you just said, but I have to say that Biden has way more time, to fuck up in politics, because Trump hasn't been in there that long.
Well, that's true. Now, I mean, but at the same time, you would think that it would be a lot more balanced. There's way more negative things on him than there are positive. It's not balanced at all.
Yeah.
So that's the part that, because yeah, we can, if we, go over, all of the years, like we could honestly, like we could just go over like the last 2 years. Like Trump's only been in politics for 4 years. I mean, if we tabulate, because I mean he still has 2 years to change stuff, but I guarantee he's even at 2 year mark, he has more negative things on his books than Trump does. I could practically guarantee that.
Yeah. Well, Trump is a douche.
Yeah, but I mean, but
and so is
who's
Biden.
actually getting who like say, but no, but look, listen, like this, like all right, for somebody who was supposed to be such a warmonger, made the most peace, with people in the Middle East and like things that people, I think that they didn't want Afghanistan to be over with. They wanted to manipulate that as long as they could. But Trump ended that, and like they had to follow through with it. That was one of the first things that he had to do. Well, that Biden had to deal with once he got in office. But he screwed that part up. Like he started off horrible. And he's supposed to be the one with the experience and has gone through all these and seen, this transfers of power over the years that, I mean, it's crazy. And like most people don't even know that he got that Trump was recommended for what you call it, what they call it, shit, that the award that
Nobel
Obama
Peace
got.
Prize.
Nobel Peace, 3. He got nominated for 3 of them.
Yeah. I always feel like whoever they give those medals to, they're giving it to them. It's like the opposite, everything is the opposite, they did their job well of fucking shit up. So they get a Nobel Peace Prize, like, come on. What peace did Obama bring to anything?
That is something that I would have to, analyze. Because right off, I can't really say that there's anything.
So what is the medal for then? The other thing I wanted to talk about is the the bridge. Did y'all see that bridge got blown up? It's a pretty big deal. It's related to this stuff with the Russia, Ukraine, the pipeline. They blew up the bridge that connects Russia to Crimea. So, and it's a big deal because, you got a war going on and bridges are important as hell to move troops around.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So,
the thing I stumbled on was the submarine that they dispatched or sent out that holds an IBC.
I didn't hear that. Who released the who's got the submarine floating around, swimming around? Russia. So, but then what news source did you get that from? Because, like I said, I haven't heard that. That sounds like somebody pulled that out their ass. Check this out. Let me play this. Oh, it's in Russian. But the pictures show the fucking bridge getting blown the hell up. It says Crimea Bridge is blown up in explosion as Russia blames truck bomb attack. This is scary because it shows an escalation. Let me see. I got some more stuff on this. And I really want to cover this. So let me see. Hold on. Okay, this is Biden when he opened the. I mean, not Biden. Putin. This is when he opened the bridge in 2018. So the caption says Vladimir Putin opened the Kerch Bridge connecting Crimea to Russia in 2018. The symbolically significant bridge was attacked, with Russia saying 3 people have been killed. Looking at that explosion, I couldn't see how nobody didn't die in that. It was cars, it was trucks and shit on the bridge at the time. And half of the bridge is like gone. I saw the pictures. It's not functioning. Like you can't use it. It's done. I mean, until it gets repaired. But right now, it's not a bridge anymore.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I got much respect for seeing Putin driving a dump truck.
Yeah. Dude knows how to do a lot of stuff. He could still kick ass. You know, he be doing the jujitsu shit. Yeah, you wouldn't want to try to have a physical fight with that guy.
No, I sure don't.
Let me see. Do I have a video on the bridge? I have a couple other things I wanted to cover, but I don't know if I'm going to get to that. But I really want to talk about this bridge. Let me see. Thought I had more. I know I have some stuff. USA Today. It says it's cutting off Russia's supply route. So that's what's important about it, because he has troops over there already in Crimea. So his troops are kind of stuck. I want somebody to explain the significance of this, though. They're just giving the information.
I mean, really, I mean, if they saying that that's their supply bridge, I mean, really, that's enough, really,
to understand that is significant. And so, you know, the people are saying, you know, of course they're gonna say Russia did it or something. Like, why would Russia blow up their own bridge?
Oh my. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you know what? I must say that at one point I thought that, you know, when people were saying in the beginning things that America has done to itself, that would be ridiculous. But then, of course, you find out later that it's not as ridiculous as you think. And so, I mean, I mean, it still sounds ridiculous that they would do this, that Russia would do this to. I mean, if that's their only bridge to get in, like, yeah, that would be crazy as hell. I couldn't imagine, and especially in a time like this, that they would do it. But you know, I always say, now I look at it differently. That okay, it's a possibility. The likeliness of it would be, very slim, but yeah,
It's crazy. So this is war. So this is what happens in war. You blow up bridges. You know, it's a very common thing.
Well,
So,
but
not
I
your
want to
own, not your
well, see,
own bridge.
exactly. And then because I mean, I could see if you had a 50, a 60, 100-year-old bridge, and maybe you blew it up because it would stop the flow of traffic from another opponent, and it's not something that you just spent probably hundreds of millions of dollars on building with like 5 years. Let's see, 5 years ago.
Yeah. this just shows the escalation of everything. I think that the them blowing up the pipeline, now the bridge, is just showing this thing escalating. And it's crazy how so many people are like, oh yeah, we're gonna get Putin or leave Ukraine alone and all of this, like, America and all of this. But do we want it with Russia, bro? Do we want a direct conflict with Russia? Do we really want that?
Yes, well, we don't, but they do, and we're in a direct. And that's the thing. Like, just I mean, us saying the Ukraine is like us being pretty naive to realize that it's really us.
It's really us, but that's why they call it a proxy war, because it's not no officially declared war against Russia, but that's the direction we're heading in. At least that's what it looks like to me. And that's scary as fuck. I don't care what nobody has to say. Like, whatever side you're on, who the hell wants a full-blown fucking war with Russia, bro? No, I don't think anybody on the planet wants that. No country.
No, like most countries don't even want Russia. Like, even if they don't have no involvement, they hate to see it happen with anybody in Russia. Like, I mean, these little, because I say these little spats that we see in, Africa, and, like, not that they're not serious or, things that, that needs to be fixed, but like, we talking about Putin, where he say, bro, before he fall, shit, some nuclear weapon will fall.
I'm telling you, and so that's what they're scaring everybody with. They're all saying like, okay, Putin is threatening nuclear weapons. So then the point of this is to scare the shit out of everybody, because they're saying that they should do a preemptive strike. Do y'all hear that? Have y'all heard that? I've heard that already. And they're saying, okay, Russia may do a nuclear, attack. So we should hit them first with the nuclear attack.
Bro, look, man. Look,
I ain't heard no shit like that.
Whether they look, I'm gonna say this, because the capabilities. Because whether you said that it sounds like a narrative, it sounds whatever. All right, let's just say it is. Well, just with the capabilities that Russia has, because that submarine that holds the largest IBMC was ICBM. Look, that thing. Say, bro. Because I mean, I don't know anybody else that can release a nuclear weapon from underwater, especially at that magnitude. Like, this submarine, this missile is bigger than most of just the regular submarines.
Yeah, I think the United States can do it. There might be a couple of other countries, but the Russia's technology is cutting edge. Bro. I think they have the best technology related to this.
Look,
they sell weapons.
United States does not have it. Our own Navy is saying, like, oh shit, look what the fuck they do. Look what the fuck they got, because it can mess with things that they have running in the ocean, underneath in the water, and that can go undetected by the satellites because it's underwater.
Yeah, so that's what's scary about the damn submarines. That's why they're so useful, is because you don't know where they are, and they could just be hanging off the coast, and then they don't even have to be.
Russia is extremely they're extremely talented when it comes to hiding in plain sight in their submarines. Like, do you guys remember that movie that came out a few years ago? It was a Russian movie where Russia and the U.S. was fighting together. How they showed, like, they were fighting in the middle of winter, and how Russia was able to fucking hide their submarines in the ice in the ocean, and they were firing up on the American submarines, and they couldn't even detect them, and they were right in the water with them. Russia was sitting right, like literally over our submarines, and was fucking just firing up on them. You remember? I forget the name of that movie, bro. It was like a few years ago that came out. It was pretty good movie. But yeah, those were based on true events that happened back in the day when the U.S. and Russia fought.
And their technology has improved dramatically since then. You know, they've been waiting for somebody to like they the poster child for wish a nigga would.
Yes, bro. And you know, look. I mean, because you know, when we were growing up, it was like America. You know, like you know, we actually could be proud to be the strong, not one of the strongest military out there. So it's like now, like we may not even be number two. You know what I'm saying? Like China, say, but the technology, you know, we've grown in technology. I'm sure there's some things that they're not telling us that we have that maybe, you know, we might be, but most of the advisors are pretty afraid of this thing that that they claim that we do not have.
Because we have this
Could be a
bloated.
deterrent, though, bro. Too.
It's a deterrent. That's the point. We have this bloated ass system related to the arms systems where they're not really building stuff, you know, for a reason. You know what I mean? Like what was it? What was that airplane? I think I mentioned it before on the show that they built, and it was like, I don't know how many billions or trillions. That was a ridiculous amount of money. By the time they got through building it, it was completely obsolete. All the way waste of money. And we have a lot of stuff like that. That's obsolete. It's useless because the technology that these other ones have, you know,
blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But that's but that's what happens when, you know, our education system, you know, blocks people from actually learning to think for themselves or even like their creativity. Like there's so many things that like we could be still way more advanced at least than we are now. Maybe not even, you know, maybe not more than others, but at least more than we are at this point if some of those things were not taking place, if they were not, you know, already, you know, having, you know, going to war with the citizens. Like that's really one of America's biggest problems is that they at war with their citizens.
Yeah, I agree. Let me play some of this right here. Maybe it'll shed some light on this. Is this just gonna be a caption video? I think so. This is the moment a key bridge connecting Crimea and Russia was hit by a devastating explosion. Footage shared on social media shows the moment of the blast, which engulfs the Kerch Bridge, the only crossing between the occupied Crimea Peninsula and Russia. In towering plumes of smoke and flames, Russia officials are claiming that the explosion, which occurred in the early hours of Saturday morning, was caused by a truck bomb, which caused 7 railway cars carrying fuel to catch fire before the road collapsed. 3 people were killed in the explosion, Russian authorities have said. Though Kyiv is not directly claiming responsibility, President Zelensky's top aide said the explosion was a consequence of Russia's illegal empire. Okay. Crimea, the bridge, the beginning, everything illegal must be destroyed, everything stolen must be returned to Ukraine, everything occupied by Russia must be expelled. The blast has damaged a key supply artery for Moscow's weakening offensive in southern Ukraine. Vladimir Putin unveiled the bridge in 2018, 4 years after Crimea was annexed by Russia. At different points in history, even during the time of the Tsars, people dreamed of building this bridge. Then they returned to the project in the 1930s and 1940s and the 1950s. And finally, thanks to our work, your talent, this project, this miracle has come true. Thank you. It says the explosion deals another humiliating blow in an embarrassing week that could lead him to up the ante in his war. Yeah, so from that, it sounds like Ukraine is saying we did it without saying we did it. Which would make sense. Like I say, it's war. You blow up bridges in war. It would make sense for Crimea, for Ukraine to do this. Strategically, it would make sense.
So let me ask this, because, all right, with the war happening between Ukraine and Russia, technically, or you know, we'll say that's what's that's happening in that region. If by some rare chance Ukraine wins this whole effort, are they going to be now the superpower in that area?
No freaking way. NATO is freaking holding them up. So no, NATO is the superpower in the area. That's the whole problem. That's the whole reason why Russia is even got a problem. Well, the original problem is that, you know, fucking Ukraine is full of Nazis, and they were oppressing the people that weren't Nazis, and basically genociding these people. And these people are ethnic Russians. And Putin is like, man, these people are Russians, bro. Y'all got to stop doing that shit. They wouldn't. So, boom. So, but see, the war started with Ukraine versus itself. It was like a civil war. Those different regions didn't want to be a part of Ukraine no more because of the way Ukraine was acting towards them, treating them like second-class citizens. You know, it's like an apartheid for them over there because they don't get the same rights as others, you know. So those different regions were like, boom, we don't want to be a part of Ukraine no more. We're our own deal. So then Ukraine is like, fuck that. You're a part of Ukraine. We don't give a damn. So then they started fighting. So the fighting was going on for years. And Russia was like, you know, we had enough. We're going to put an end to this. You know, that's just like the beginning, like little speck part of it. You know, the other part is NATO was pushing for this war for the longest. Even they're the ones who, you know, instigated this thing for it to be the way it was with the Civil War without Russia even being involved in it, because they wanted to become, you know, they wanted this to be NATO so then they can be closer to Russia. So everybody got different little agendas and different little, but it's just a quagmire mess.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be over. It would be over if it wasn't for the United States sending billions of dollars to them every freaking month. Billions of dollars of weapons. And, you know, the other part of that is the United States is saying, NATO is saying they can't guarantee all those weapons are making it to Ukraine. They don't know where some of the weapons are going missing. I mentioned this earlier. It's like this is another dimension of this. They're spending all this money on these weapons they're sending to Ukraine, and only percentages of it is making it over there. So then you got to ask yourself, where the hell are all these freaking weapons and shit going? And now here's another story that popped up on me recently. They said that, I think it's Ethiopia, you know, they're having a civil war and they was having peace talks. And it was like, United States, how did the story go? I got it somewhere. Fuck, I don't want to say it wrong. But anyways, the civil war is reigniting because the United States was talking about peace talks or something over there, and it fell through. So now they're fighting again. So, but then this is what my point is. My point is all these weapons going missing are landing in places like Africa, different countries in Africa. By some of the weapons might end up with the gangs in Haiti. Shit.
I sent you a video earlier about some of that. that the gangs and those gangs violence and stuff that's going on there.
Because it's a blank ticket. It's a blank check. The most valuable, what they say,
Yes.
guns and butter. They nothing more expensive, cost more. So freaking that has value really, because you could use it to freaking take over whatever. But okay, so the once the guns end up on the black market now, then where they end up is God knows. So it's whoever is willing to pay for them. You get it? So these people are getting these weapons basically for free, given to them from the United States. But then, it's these black arms dealers. Like, remember that movie God of War? Nicolas Cage?
Lord of War.
Lord of War. That was a fucking good ass fucking movie, bro.
Hell yeah.
That was a badass fucking movie. It explained the whole thing. So okay, so you got a guy like the character in Nicolas Cage. All he cares about is making money. He doesn't care where the weapons go, and he'll sell weapons to both sides, and he'll even cause a conflict so that people have a reason to come buy the guns from him. So and let's say he has a government contract where he's getting these weapons for pennies on a dollar, or not even paying for them at all, and then he's selling them to fucking guerrillas in who knows where for fucking billions of dollars or whatever,
or at least hundreds of millions.
And see, so him making money is not what it's all about. It's all about the powers that be causing distractions, just a mess, so that they could take advantage of the situations. It's always political, so they can be like, oh, this country is a mess, we need to go in here and I don't know, install some leaders that can keep it organized or something. Or this country is a mess, they can't really maintain their resources, so we just gonna go in and the resources are too valuable to the planet for us to just let it be sitting there while they're freaking having fights. So we're gonna go over there and take care of that for them. That shit crazy.
That shit crazy.
I had something on there, but I can't fucking find it now. So, did y'all hear about this? Is a side story, but it's fucking so horrible that I wanted to cover it. It's 21-year-old Dallas woman shot to death after beating a 30-year-old male friend in a basketball game. Did y'all hear about that? It says a man lost a pickup basketball game to a 21-year-old Dallas woman. After he lost, he returned to the park and shot her 5 times, killing her. What a pussy. See, when I hear this story, I think about all the this guy clearly don't know how to deal with his emotions. He hasn't been taught. He hasn't had someone to teach him how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Freaking emotional. Probably raised by his mama. Probably didn't have no male figures in his life. And he gonna get embarrassed because a chick beat him in a basketball game, and he gonna come back and shoot her. What a pussy! And he can't deal with his fucking emotions.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a good topic to just throw the single mother raising men in there, man. That
Okay,
because
that's fair.
that motherfucker, he could have been very well raised in a 2-parent household, and he's just a bitch ass motherfucker.
Yeah, but we have a pandemic of these pussy ass motherfuckers running around. So that's why I think it's like, there's got to be more to it. It's not just.
I honestly feel like somebody that was raised in a single mother household as a male would have more regard for himself and would need.
You're breaking up.
That's just my honest thought.
You're breaking up.
I think somebody that was raised by mother would have more regard for himself, or for that lady. That individual.
You would think. I just don't think. You would think.
We gotta understand,
logically.
we dealing with bitch boys, bro. We're worried about transgenders when we got niggas that's got dicks walking around here that's really a bitch. They really females. Like these things are really females, bro.
They didn't transgendered without the operation.
Without the operation. And hard than a motherfucker. will talk shit, but when it's time to throw them hands, they running out the club to they trunk because they bitches. Nigga can't fight to save his life.
It's
So you know
really
how to pull that iron though.
it's really about the embarrassment. Like I say, it's the same thing with what you're saying, like them getting into a fight. They don't want to get into a fight because they could possibly lose the fight, and then everybody gonna be filming and putting it online or whatever and making fun of you, talking about, oh, you got your ass beat. Maybe like, nah, I didn't get my ass beat. I smoked that nigga.
Bro, and that's why people have the mentality that they have today. A motherfucker, like, to be honest with you, bro, like, I think I would rather get in a fight and get my ass mopped up. Yeah, it may be embarrassing, but that shit wear off.
But it's not like that for these kids today with social media.
I mean, that's true. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a camera everywhere. But because of the fact that people know most of these cats ain't fighting fair, bro. Like Pimp C said, fuck. What he say? Fuck a fight, nigga. Keep your pistol. Fuck a fight, cause niggas out here die every night. Like for real, it's just it ain't no one-on-one no more, bro. It ain't none of that bullshit. Like you might as well, if you in the club or you somewhere and you got to fight, you know what I'm saying? Before he even get an opportunity to get to his gun, you need to have somebody in your circle need to have that eye on him, because it's gonna go down like that. Especially if you mop this nigga. He thought for sure that, oh man, this nigga he look weak. He wear glasses. You know what I'm saying? And you dust his ass. You down there gotta shoot the nigga.
That's why I don't even go. That's why I don't even go to the club. It's so retarded. You might get shot for stepping on somebody's shoe. Or bumping into somebody. It's fucking retarded. Let me play the story.
You playing it? Or is it my shit probably messing up?
It's not sharing.
Oh, it's not. Y'all don't see this? Oh shit, my bad. Thank y'all. I'm fucking tripping, bro. I'm tired. My brain. That's why I ain't gonna stay on here long.
I'm with you, bro. I'm halfway crazy right now myself too. So
yeah, when I'm tired, I can't. Anyways, check this out.
She loved basketball to the point to where she died doing what she loved.
Monday, 21-year-old Asia Womack. She died after being shot multiple times. Police and paramedics found her near Dallas's Fair Park Grocery. But it was here, on the basketball court of Terry Park, Asia Womack played a game against a friend. Police identify that friend as 31-year-old Cameron Hogg. There's an arrest warrant for him now.
She's eating with this man. She's fed him, and he turned on her and killed her in a vicious way.
The motive for shooting and killing Asia Womack, as illogical as it may sound, the family believes the suspect didn't like losing a basketball game to Asia and didn't like hearing about it. Police were told Hogg became angry after being teased by Womack after losing the game.
This is so senseless. This is so, you become embarrassed, basically, because a female beat you in basketball.
If you know where he is, where his whereabouts are, please turn him in.
Steve Pickett, CBS 11 News.
Well, you know they're gonna catch him.
Somebody in the hood probably gonna kill him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That could end up being some self-revenge. I say self-revenge, but somebody's gonna probably deal with him directly.
Yeah.
Street justice.
Yeah. They're definitely gonna get him. Like, he's her friend. Everybody in the whole hood knows him. He's hiding somewhere. Because otherwise he'd already be in jail. But as soon as he comes outside, they're gonna get him. They got his picture everywhere. And then the hood don't like this kind of stuff. You know how they have the no snitching type of deal? That ain't gonna be the case with this guy.
No,
Hey, you need to
I
find
don't.
that ain't
Well, I
snitching,
guess
that's telling.
it depends on who. Yeah, it depends on who runs across him first.
Yeah, because if you ask me, that ain't snitching, that's telling. Like Charleston White say, you niggas need to define the difference between snitching, telling, and setting the record straight.
Yeah, because snitching is somebody who who's involved in that kind of lifestyle, and you rat on somebody that you did a crime with. Telling is when you live a straight lifestyle. You ain't got nothing to do with that. Cops get involved, asking you questions. You tell what happened, and I mean, I see that there is a difference there. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who sign up for it, for that kind of lifestyle, are snitches if they tell. But
Hey, bro, that's why this dude, Pat, man, you on the money, you right. That's why this dude, Charleston White, has such a cult following, bro. Because people really understanding even though he's a character and he come off as foolish, he's got a strong cult following of people that respect what he doing, bro.
yeah,
Because they
nah,
like, hey, man, like they truly, like, they tired of that shit. They respect, like, this dude getting,
Cause he kind of street too. So the street don't respect nothing but the street. So the only person that can patronize the street is the street. You know what I mean? Because they can hear it coming from him when he be like, that's foul what y'all doing or whatever. You did some foul shit or whatever. They can hear it coming from him. From some intellectual PhD freaking university professor saying it to them, they're gonna be like, whatever. Yeah. Even if it's the cops telling them, they're gonna be like, whatever. But if it's coming from the streets, they're gonna hear it.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, man.
That's one thing that's good about Charleston, I think, because I don't agree with him half the time. He be trolling, but sometimes he be right on point. Like, he really just be calling it like it is, and it be stuff that people scared to say, that everybody believes, but scared to say.
Yeah, because I mean, it was something about a week or so ago where he was talking. Oh, I think the dude PNB Rock or whatever, the guy, when he died, he's like, fuck him. It's like, shit, I didn't even know who the dude was until y'all start talking about him and blah blah blah. Like, fuck him. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, to some extent, it's like, I mean, in gangland, I guess it's, maybe that's somebody's gonna get angry from you saying that, but at the same time, it's like I don't know this dude. Like, why am I changing up my whole week because of somebody I don't even know?
yeah. But that's just
And
like
I could relate, because I've when they start showing a picture of who he was, I was like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I've seen him before, but like, I don't know nothing about his music. I don't know anything about him. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? What am I going?
What they say? Niggas get shot every day, B.
Yeah.
But see, that's cold, and that's what he be trolling. But again, that's one of those examples where I think a lot of people would agree. A lot of people would be like, it's weird how we have this thing where it's like these celebrities, and then every time a rapper gets shot, it becomes news. It's like the rapper was a nobody ever heard of, but it's news because it's another rapper that got shot. And then this benefits the damn record labels and companies and shit. These niggas don't own their damn music. Now they finally going viral. They finally getting plays after they die. They don't get the benefit from that. The record labels and shit do.
Well, not even just say that, because I mean, a part of the that same conversation was that, it's weird how these, it just so happens that they get signed, and then in their contract you see where they have these
Life
insurance
insurance.
policies.
Yeah.
These life insurance policies on them that equal up to, shoot, 100 times their what they signed for. You know what I'm saying? Like if they signed for 5, so this might be, I say 100 times, but they got a $1 million deal or two, whatever the deal is. The insurance policy is worth 100 million. You know what I'm saying? So are they worth more alive or dead?
Yeah. And that's some sad shit. So I think I think people should stop signing these damn deals, because the way everything is now, it's a lot easier to just do all of that shit on your own and hire the people yourselves. And
yeah, and I mean, it's almost like people who's willing to sign their life away. Some people say selling their soul to the record companies is just like, okay, if you're good, like you can make you put your stuff on, I guess, like SoundCloud and different things, like people will catch on to it, become like some of these other artists where they are, go viral with videos and this, that, and the third. But honestly, like, you got so many avenues to get yourself out there and become known that really, like, I mean, because they're gonna use the same avenues that you can use.
yeah, so because what's his name was talking about it. I don't really like this guy, the one who shot Megan Thee Stallion, short dude.
He didn't shoot her.
Well, that's
Tory
beside the
Lanez.
point. Corey Lanez.
Yeah, but you can't throw
Tory
that
Lanez.
out there with his name, though.
I mean, I don't even care.
You're an artist
I don't.
too. If somebody associated you with that, you'd be like, "Hey, bro."
Yeah, if it was you, you wouldn't want people still saying
The
that
nigga
you
did
shot.
something, and
But
I don't like his.
I'm only telling you that or correcting you on that because of your platform and what you have, and
Right,
somebody
y'all doing
may
the right
hear
thing.
that shit.
You're doing the right thing, but he did something, and I don't really like his music anyway. I just don't like him as a person.
Man, Tory
But
Lanez be jamming, nigga. You need to listen to them
Yeah.
chicks tape album. Them motherfuckers go. You talk about get some pussy? Oh Lord.
nah. But he was saying a lot of really good stuff related to this topic that we're talking about. People handling their business on their own, and a lot of the moves that he made was fucking genius. Like the shit he did with the NFT, with his album.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
A couple years ago, during
about
the
6
pandemic.
months.
Yeah.
It was.
He made
Yeah,
so
it was-
much money, like the first day, like, fuck, that was genius.
Yeah, and then now he just signed he owns all of his music, got all the title, everything. Only thing he does have a distribution deal through somebody, but they were talking about, yeah, Tory Lanez is finished. He's not gonna get no more deals. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with him. And then he got a distribution deal for $18.7 million. Right after the report came out about him shooting Megan Thee Stallion, which he didn't shoot her, but from what everybody's saying, what they
Yeah, I
said,
mean, and that's it. You don't. She has lost a lot of credibility with people because a lot of the act, like, who was Beyonce and Jay-Z,
Jay-Z and
like Kanye, like a bunch of them stopped fooling with her because she lied. Nobody wants to speak up and just say flat out the girl lied. But a lot of people just start distancing themselves from her because just on a narrative thing, or so she wouldn't seem, she's trying to get people to be on her side. She did some stupid shit. Now she want to blame the dude that she was out with that night, and you know he he didn't do any harm to her at all.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I think that he's smart on the way he does his business thing, and I think that a lot of other artists could probably take some cues from the way he does his
Hey, bro.
thing.
But the
'Cause-
fact that you say you don't like, hey, we all entitled to our own opinions. But Tory be jamming, bro. You need to go back and listen to them chicks tape. Like, pull his shit up on Spotify. Dude be jamming, bro. And the way that he take the music from other artists and put his, oh, bro, that like, oh man, that shit jammed.
I'm not a fan.
I was bumping
It's-
that shit, and motherfuckers be like, bro, who the fuck is that? Like, that's Tory, nigga. Like, so many people done got on. Like, Tory jam. And then his flow is just like, dude is talented.
I'm just not a fan of that dude. Like the look on his face makes me not fucking there's a song, it was a song, it doesn't matter, but it was his verse was on the song, and it was like the only verse I didn't like. The song was so good. I didn't like his verse on it. I can't think of it right now. It was like Jake Harlow, Lil Wayne. Who else was on that? I can't remember. It was the Jake Harlow remix. Shit. Like I say, man, I'm not staying out here long. Check this out. Yeah, Jack Harlow. Robert Reich posted this. He said, "Universal free school lunch programs established during the pandemic to help millions of kids are ending after not receiving funding. Meanwhile, our government had no issues passing a $768 billion defense budget. It isn't about what we can afford; it's about priorities."
Yep.
I think it's really sad that we can't seem to find the money to make sure these kids have some lunch, the ones that can't afford it. And why the hell does everybody have to pay for lunch anyway? And I posted on my Instagram some days ago about it, saying that it's like the reason why we can't have lunch is because people see it as communism. Everything is communism. If the kids get free lunch, there's communists. You're a damn commie if you want the kids to have free lunch.
And that shit that they serve in the school cafeterias in the United States is garbage anyway.
It
All
really
that
is.
processed ass fucking food. You know, yeah, that shit is garbage. Say, bro, my cousin, well, all three of my cousins, they're all girls, but and one of them is the trans, but they all had the privilege to go to different parts of the world, and they each spent about 2 or 3 years over in Korea. And if you see the food that they feed their children in schools, bro, their lunch, it's like a gourmet fucking meal that you may spend $300 for you and your girl to go out and eat. This is what the kids eat like in the schools, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of them was in Japan. You look at, like, they're eating fucking Wagyu beef and shit at lunch in Japan. Like,
Yeah, I saw some in China. They eat good. The kids eat good there.
yeah, you know, like my cousin, shit.
And it,
Yeah, because, you know,
and
they.
China
Go ahead.
is communist.
And so, but damn, why the hell would our kids? How come our kids can't have some decent food for lunch?
Ain't shit decent, bro.
Hey.
That school lunch, bro, that shit full of grease, processed ass shit, bro. Them fucking, like, I remember being on free lunch. I used to be happy when it was chicken fried steak fingers day. Them hoes was good, but it's like, man, I remember how that shit tastes though. You could just taste the process, the chemicals in that shit.
Let me read this comment. It says, "As a kid that grew up getting free lunches, the fact that I also grew up giving my free lunches to other kids who would go without because I knew what being hungry meant, and I didn't want anyone else to have to go hungry, shouldn't be a thing. It's time we give kids free lunch, period. Punishing them for not having enough money to afford or not having parents that pay the school system or punishing them for something their parents are responsible for is wrong. They're kids, and they are not individually responsible for that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I used to get reduced lunch, but now my son, I pay every dime of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they got that little what's it, school bucks or whatever it is. You load it up with money so they can be able to go and eat. But I think that those who don't have, who can't, you know what I'm saying, I would definitely want to make sure that kids could go and eat when, you know, especially if their parents don't have the money.
And this is the kind of stuff that we should be talking about. Like, well, what I'm saying about yesterday's show, we argue about the transgenders and who's using the bathroom and what books they have in there. Meanwhile, the kids are sitting there starving. They can't learn shit because they fucking hungry.
Yeah.
Well, but what states is that really in? Because that's not happening. I mean, I know it's not happening in Texas because I mean they offer program if you qualify. Like if you don't have the money, kids gonna eat.
I don't know if that's true, bro. I really
Nah,
don't.
well, I can't say for every school, but I will say like kids, like that's just like kids that don't get free lunch and they can't afford to pay for it or whatever, or they don't have money. Like the principal has an account where she, you know, the kid go to my wife's office, and they you know they escort them back to the cafeteria and they pay for it on the principal's account. There's a budget that every principal, I'm not saying every school, but from where I understand, there's a budget that the principals have at each school that allows for that.
Yeah,
bro. Like that shouldn't even shouldn't even be necessary. My thing
that's
is
what I was
just
about
that
to say. That's a
you
whole
know
extra
what
step.
the school is buying food no matter what, and if they don't sell it, it's gonna go to waste. So like you know, like
I mean, it's true. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. You know, and that's just like the cafeteria lady that was a supervisor that got fired a couple of years ago because she was feeding some kids that, you know, they couldn't afford to eat, and they fired her because they said that she wasn't supposed to do that. They're supposed to go in the office, fill out a form, and then they give them a sack lunch, which is consists of a fucking cheese sandwich with a milk and a fruit, milk juice
Well,
and a fruit.
well, at
You know,
least
but
that's
she was,
something.
you know, she was giving them the food out of the cafeteria line. But
Yeah.
still, bro, like this is elementary school. Y'all gonna fire this lady behind this shit?
And then
you know,
think about
That's the system we have.
think about how the kids feel, bro. That's the part we're missing.
okay. That's
Think
exactly
about
because see that's the part that I was gonna get to is just like you know some of these kids got to be embarrassed because you know okay their parents can't afford now they you know to signify that they not they you know that they're underprivileged or
to make
you
sure
know
everybody know. Now you got
yeah
to go to the principal, get a form, and then they're gonna give you a sack lunch. It's gonna look different from all the other kids. You're gonna be sitting there next to the kid who got the regular lunch, and you got the brown paper bag sitting there looking about to cry and shit, probably crying.
well not most of them are very appreciative to have something like it is what you
But
know.
but the kids making fun of them.
I don't know how
I don't really know
regular
how.
that is. Yeah, I don't think kids are making fun of other kids like that. I mean, you know, maybe in some rare cases, but say, bro, I'm gonna tell you, the kids, like a lot of the kids. Well, I don't know, the ones that I'm seeing are way more like they're not nearly as bad as we were when we were kids.
Yeah. I hate to hear anything about children being hungry. I don't like people, grown-ups, to be hungry, you know? So a kid being hungry is super extra bothersome to me. I know what it feels like to be hungry and to go without, and I don't wish that on nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody, my enemy. I don't wish that on them. I want them to have some fucking food to eat.
Well, I'm just, you know, the way I was raised, like, you know, shit, kids in the neighborhood who was hungry, shit, we feed shit. I ain't gonna say half the neighborhood, but you know, a couple of people that's that was close to me. Shit, if they were hungry, shit, they knew that they could eat at my house if they didn't have nothing that they owned. So, and this is from a single parent who did not make a whole lot of money. It was just that when you have a given heart, like the other stuff don't matter. Like something, you get blessed the more you give. You know what I'm saying? So we don't worry about like we're not like our hands stay open. We as we give, we also receiving. So I mean,
all I know is get the childhood that I've been through. It makes me want to make sure everybody around me is eating good all the time, and anybody that comes in my vicinity, I'm gonna make sure that they not hungry, period.
Yeah.
And why come we don't have that attitude in our school system? How come you got kids that don't get to eat?
Well,
it gets worse as they get older too, because in elementary it's more friendly, but by the time they get to high school, it's way more less food for the kids. They're still kids.
Why is it less food?
Less opportunity for these freaking school lunch programs and all of that shit. It's different from elementary to high school. The school lunch program. Why do we have to have a school lunch program anyways? It should be no school lunch program. It should just be school lunch.
School lunch. I agree.
Just fucking get these damn kids some damn money. All the fucking money. All the damn taxes that we pay. They take the money straight out of... They'll take your house. They'll take your house if you don't pay those school taxes. They take it serious. But your kid can't have nothing to fucking eat? Oh. Damn, that's cold.
Yeah. Yes.
And they punish the kids. They punish the parents. Oh, you not go work another job then. Oh, I'm already working 2 jobs. Well, work a 3rd job then. So you could take care of your child and make sure they got lunch.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
you don't need to see them or spend any time with them. You just need to work and make sure you can provide for
them. And that's the attitude. And that's the reason why all these parents are running around with 2 and 3 jobs, single parent households. The kids not getting raised, and then they just perfect school to prison pipeline. They're getting taught by the damn television, and they don't know shit. They get out there in the world and they get taken advantage of immediately.
Well, see, but the thing about that, like, honestly, in my opinion, the biggest problem is that most of the people who make judgments on that have no understanding of what it's like to not have their kid be able to eat, or a family member, somebody close to them that doesn't eat, at school. Because if they did have, like, could relate to that, in most cases they would vote for it so that it's available. But these cafeterias are making food, and I mean, I get you don't want to be wasteful, and like it. Shit, that's just like with the fast food restaurants and stuff. Like, they are known to throw away so much food every day. Like, I don't know how many pounds they throw away every day just to,
And they put locks. Y'all see the dumpsters and things are changing, bro. Like, it wasn't like this in the past. With the dumpsters, they have locks on the dumpsters now. They don't even want people to be able to go dig in the dumpster to go grab those cheeseburgers that's still in the wrappers and shit.
Because they feel like that's what's gonna make them lose money, and I think it's somewhat insane. Because I mean, people that's dumpster diving aren't the people that's keeping the business alive. So I mean, if you there's a segment that needs that food shit, at least, send it, because I think, you think people who actually go and spend their money at these different little restaurants, from the McDonald's of the world to the, I don't know, what's 5150, what 5115s or whatever, the food that they're throwing away, the people that's going there and actually spending money, they're not,
They're not
the
gonna.
ones that's,
Most likely they're not.
most likely they're not going to go dumpster dive for food.
So it's not affecting their profits or nothing.
That's the point. Yeah.
It's all bullshit. And look at the grocery stores. Have y'all noticed like security is more serious at the grocery stores? Have y'all noticed that? They got like HEB have like real cops out there sometimes now. They fully suited and booted with the vest, with the gun. They riding around on them scooters and shit. Like, this is some dystopian shit, bro. Somebody who's trying to steal some steak out of the HEB is not a criminal. That's somebody that's hungry.
Yeah. And I would say that they've been, somebody has, the system has failed them to some extent, so they shouldn't be really persecuted behind them trying to get something to eat.
And so the grocery stores are concerned about theft. I was watching a video recently how this was in the UK, I want to say, where they're like putting those theft devices on steaks and shit now.
Man,
butter and milk. I'm not exaggerating. I could probably find the video if I care enough to do it, but
where did you say this is?
I want to say UK. It doesn't matter where it is. This is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? This is a thing.
I mean, to me, it matters where it is, because this is something like, if this is happening in the USA, like this is like, because I understand like some people implement stuff like this earlier, because I mean,
That's
it
what
does
I mean.
and it doesn't. Yeah, like, because I mean, it could definitely happen here.
Yeah.
If it's a European nation, like that's pretty much.
Oh, here it is. I got it. Boom. I don't like this fucking video. I don't like these dudes in this video. Like, they're two douches. But this is the one. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Let me share. Because this chick is complaining about the food. This is a real thing. So that's what I'm saying. This is the stuff we should be talking about. Not freaking the other shit is stupid. This matters.
So first of all, depressing situation when it comes to the economy. First of all, we have about 10% inflation now, and now I have the feeling that people have spent most of their savings.
This is Australia.
And they are living from month to month, from hand to mouth, and the prices of food and other commodities have increased quite tremendously. So here you can see an article in the newspaper that food has become so much more expensive. So for example, here they have a comparison. In January 2021, they were charging 13 euros for 4 chicken breasts. Now they are charging 18 euros. So that's 5 euros more for the same product, for the same food. And that's quite a lot. So now the problem is that people are getting so desperate that they are starting to steal much more than before. So here you can see an article about the German supermarkets Lidl and Edeka, and they have observed that shoplifting has increased quite tremendously. So now they are putting alarm devices on butter and meat. And that's what you usually only see on very expensive electronic products.
So she's talking about an article in Germany. So it's Germany.
So now the next.
So we're experiencing a lot of parallels to this, I believe, supposedly according to the Consumer Price Index, if you can believe the math, our current inflation that they said didn't exist, and then they passed the Inflation Protection Act while they were saying we didn't have inflation and that it was transitory, but now it's 8.9%. It's actually much higher than that. So,
so what was the Inflation Protection Plan supposed to do?
Well, the Inflation Protection Act was supposed to stop the inflation that wasn't happening.
So,
so they passed it,
and then
it still hasn't worked.
Instantly, inflation started.
That wasn't happening.
Well, we talk about this all the time. Whenever they
He's saying in a sarcastic way. So because I don't know what country they're reporting on, but like this could be in the States totally. But I don't think so. But talking about, they were saying that there wasn't inflation. So the official people were saying that inflation wasn't happening. It wasn't a thing. So, and then they came out with this Inflation Reduction Act, you know, to deal with it, even though they were saying that it wasn't even happening. And then inflation skyrockets after they passed this Stop Inflation Act. That's what they're saying.
And at what point? What did they say? At what point was this? Because I mean, this had to be some time. Is this an old article? Is this new or what's?
No, this is all recent. This video, where's the date? They used to put it right up there. I don't see it. I don't see the date. This is all recent.
Okay.
Yeah, they, you know, in the state, I don't want to misquote, but in the States, we have a thing that's going where they were trying to stop inflation or whatever. So like I say, that totally could be the United States. I think I froze up. Can y'all hear me? I think my screen froze up. Anyways, so the lady was saying in Germany, if y'all can hear me, they're putting those theft devices on meat and butter because the theft has skyrocketed. You know, people talking about the smash and grabs in California and I think New York and stuff. And they're like, oh, these people are animals. And it's like, I'm not condoning these people's behavior, but at the same time, you know, we were just talking about kids in school being hungry, you know, and the parents not being able to take care of it and working 3 jobs. So you got all these people grinding and they still can't get ahead. They still ends meet and that's it, you know, or ends don't even meet, you know. So then they say fuck it and they do shit like smash and grab and they take steak out of the HEB. And like I say, I'm not condoning this behavior, but I'm saying
me either.
But at the same time, we can't just be like, oh, these people are animals. We gotta look at what's the root cause. What is causing this to happen? Why are these people wilding out? Why would they have to put theft devices on steak and butter? But our system don't want to deal with that. You know, we want to keep scapegoating the transgenders and the teachers, the other political party, the last president, or whatever, instead of looking at the issues and trying to deal with them. Let me read a caption. I'm gonna go back to the Instagram feed because there was a couple of comments I wanted to read underneath this school lunch thing.
Yeah, I'll hand it to you.
So this one says, "This is Republicans for you. They care about the fetus, but not the child that's produced. They will cut every program they can that will benefit lower income kids and adults as well." So what do you think about that? I feel like the ones these people who scream pro-life all the damn time, it seems like they care about the life of the fetus, but after the fetus is born, then all of that pro-life shit is out the fucking window. Because if you want to force these women to have these children, then can the woman get some help? They've been cutting and nipping at these social programs for the longest, for years, and they're all underfunded and barely hanging on, and that's the reason why they don't work. They're not functioning because they've been gutted. They don't have the funding, and it's because they keep on screaming, okay, we need to be fiscally responsible. We can't spend all this money on freaking these social programs, and we don't want to be a socialist country. And these people need to figure out a way to freaking take care of their business on their own. They need to pull their damn bootstraps up like I did, looking ass. Meanwhile, these major corporations are getting the most fucking welfare out of anything. They're the ones who's eating up all the damn welfare, and that's the reason why ain't nobody getting that. It's all going to freaking Walmart or somebody.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I hate to run, but I'm trying to move stuff out of one truck to the next one. I'm gonna have to jet, man.
All right, man. Peace and love. I'm about to wrap it anyway. I'm tired.
Okay. Peace and love, bro. Y'all be careful.
Peace and love, man. Y'all be careful.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap it. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for listening. Shit. I almost didn't do a show today, so almost 2 hours. I think that's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, nah. What's up, bro? Shit, I'm happy to be on. But yeah, man, I'm trying to move stuff from one truck to the next, so I can get up out of here and try to get home.
I'll be back next week. Y'all check out some of the clips, man. I've been making a bunch of clips and they're not getting views right now. I'm feeling kind of sad. I want to put an ad on something, but I don't have the money to do it, so it is what it is, man.
I feel you. On Facebook, correct?
Yeah, that's where I've been focusing right now, Facebook. Yeah, so y'all go check some clips out on Facebook.
All right.
Peace and love. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for listening. We'll be back next week.